Today, we'll be exploring the field of property management, focusing on both commercial and residential properties. Our goal is to provide a practical guide covering key areas like day-to-day operations, maintaining strong tenant relationships, ensuring compliance with regulations, and managing long-term portfolio performance. Although commercial and residential properties differ in many ways, we'll see that a unified, strategic management approach can effectively navigate these differences. This session will help you develop the mindset and skills needed to oversee diverse property types successfully. Let's dive into how to manage these assets with confidence and expertise. When we look at the property management landscape, it essentially breaks down into two main sectors, each with its own unique characteristics and priorities. First, we have the commercial sector. This includes office spaces, retail locations, industrial sites, and mixed-use portfolios. Here, the focus is on longer lease cycles, which means leases tend to be more extended, requiring strategic, long-term planning. There's also complex vendor coordination necessary to keep operations running smoothly. Above all, success is measured by how well revenue is optimized and how assets perform over time. On the other hand, the residential sector is much more people-centered. This includes single-family homes, multifamily units, and condominiums, where the emphasis lies in creating strong, positive communities. The challenges typically involve a higher volume of services due to frequent tenant turnover and daily communication with residents. Here, occupancy rates, service speed, and resident satisfaction are the key metrics for success. Though these two sectors operate quite differently, they share a core goal: protecting and enhancing property value. Navigating the differences between commercial and residential management requires understanding these unique rhythms and priorities, so we can deliver tailored strategies that meet the specific needs of each sector. When managing commercial property, there are several core responsibilities that are crucial to success. First, tenant relations are key. Supporting lease renewals, resolving any issues quickly, and ensuring occupancy remains stable throughout the lease term. This helps maintain a positive environment for tenants and keeps revenue flowing. Next is maintenance coordination. It's important to keep building systems running smoothly by aligning vendors and service schedules. This proactive approach minimizes disruptions and keeps everything operating efficiently. Compliance oversight is another essential duty. We must meet safety standards, adhere to lease terms, handle insurance requirements, and follow regulatory guidelines without any gaps. This helps avoid risks and protects the property's value. Finally, revenue optimization plays a big role. Controlling operating costs, managing rent collection effectively, and improving overall asset performance are all necessary to maximize profitability. These core areas together offer a comprehensive approach to navigating both commercial and residential property management successfully. When we talk about the lobby, we're really discussing the first point where operations become visible to tenants and visitors. The lobby is more than just an entryway. It's inside the asset itself and reflects the overall management of the building. Safety is paramount here, as it's essential to ensure a secure environment for everyone. Regular upkeep is also crucial to maintain a clean, welcoming space that reflects positively on the whole property. Tenant access is another important factor as it influences their daily experience and satisfaction. Every shared space, especially the lobby, shapes how tenants perceive the building's efficiency and ultimately the value of their lease. The front-of-house experience, including reception, signage, and cleanliness, immediately signals professionalism and attention to detail from the moment someone steps inside. Behind the scenes, systems like HVAC, elevators, lighting, and security are constantly working to provide comfort and safety without causing any disruptions. Compliance is always in motion, with accessibility standards, fire safety measures, and coordination with vendors playing key roles in the everyday operations of the property. This slide highlights how managing both commercial and residential properties requires attention to these interconnected elements to create a smooth, professional, and safe environment. Let's talk about the core responsibilities in residential property management. First, screening qualified residents is crucial. This helps verify the right fit for the property, which reduces risk and ensures that the quality of occupancy remains high. Next, managing leases with precision is essential. This means keeping move-ins, renewals, notices, and all required documentation on track, so everything runs smoothly without any surprises. Collecting rent consistently is another key responsibility. Reliable rent collection keeps cash flow predictable and helps keep delinquencies under control, which is vital for maintaining financial stability. Finally, resolving maintenance issues quickly not only protects the asset's value, but also improves the resident experience, making it more likely that tenants stay satisfied and choose to renew. Together, these daily tasks directly impact retention rates, revenue, and the overall reputation of the property. Managing these well is what separates successful residential property management from the rest. When we talk about residential property, the experience of the resident truly matters. First, responding quickly to any concerns or requests is crucial because it builds trust with the residents. They need to feel heard and valued, and timely communication plays a big role in that. Second, maintaining clean and safe living spaces is essential not just for satisfaction, but to encourage residents to renew their leases and stay longer. Finally, every single interaction residents have, whether with management or maintenance, impacts the overall reputation of the property. It's about delivering ease, care, and consistency at every touchpoint, because these are the things residents remember most. Balancing all these elements is key when navigating both commercial and residential property management. When we look at commercial versus residential property management, there are several key differences to keep in mind. Starting with commercial properties, lease terms tend to be multi-year and are often negotiated individually to suit the business needs. The tenants here are businesses, so their operational requirements can be quite specific. Maintenance for commercial properties generally involves a lower volume of requests. But the systems involved are usually more complex, requiring specialized knowledge. Compliance is also more detailed, covering use-specific regulations, ADA requirements, fire safety, and risk management. Revenue streams are diverse as well, coming from rent, escalations, and common area maintenance recoveries. On the residential side, lease terms are typically shorter and more standardized, reflecting the needs of individuals, couples, and families as tenants. Maintenance requests occur more frequently, and there's a greater emphasis on providing a faster response to ensure tenant satisfaction. Compliance focuses on habitability standards, fair housing laws, and various local regulations aimed at protecting residents. Lastly, the revenue model here is primarily based on recurring rent collected on fixed cycles, providing a steady income stream. Understanding these differences is crucial when navigating the distinct challenges and opportunities in managing commercial versus residential properties. When managing commercial and residential properties, there are several critical areas we must focus on to ensure smooth operations and minimize risks. First and foremost is regulatory compliance, which is non-negotiable. This means adhering strictly to all laws and regulations that apply to property management. Then, we have fair housing practices. It's essential to conduct consistent screening, treat all applicants equally, and keep thorough documentation of decisions. This helps protect access and ensures fairness for everyone involved. Next, building codes are another key aspect. Staying operational requires following local requirements, such as inspections, permits, and accessibility standards. These codes ensure the property is safe and up to code, which keeps operations running without interruption. Alongside that, safety standards are vital. Maintaining functional fire systems, having emergency plans in place, keeping detailed maintenance logs, and implementing risk control measures all contribute to reducing liability. By focusing on these elements, we can effectively navigate the complexities of property management while protecting both tenants and property owners. Technology is transforming property management by turning daily operations into measurable systems. Whether it's handling leasing, managing work orders, generating reports, or facilitating communication, technology significantly reduces the manual effort involved. This gives property managers faster and clearer control over every property they oversee. With better visibility into workflows and operations, decisions can be made more quickly, workflows become tighter, and tenant service becomes more consistent. Essentially, technology means less time spent on administrative tasks and more time focused on taking action. Software centralizes the tasks that traditionally slow teams down by automating processes, improving visibility, and increasing speed. These improvements, automation, visibility, and speed, are key to navigating both commercial and residential property management more effectively. Now let's dive into the essential tools that make up a property manager's toolkit. First, accounting software is crucial. It helps manage rent rolls, budgets, payables, and owner reporting efficiently, ensuring financials are always accurate and accessible. Next, tenant portals offer tenants a self-service platform to handle payments, submit requests, access important documents, and streamline communication. Maintenance tracking systems are another key component. These help coordinate work orders, manage vendors and schedules, and keep up with preventive maintenance tasks, which keeps properties in top condition. Communication platforms enable quick and effective updates across tenants, owners, and staff, facilitating smooth operations and transparency. Reporting dashboards provide insights into occupancy rates, arrears, lease renewals, and overall asset performance, allowing for informed decision-making. Finally, compliance systems ensure all leases, inspections, certificates, and records are audit-ready, helping managers stay on top of legal and regulatory requirements. Together, these tools help navigate the complexities of commercial and residential property management seamlessly. Building strong tenant relations is all about cultivating trust. Trust grows when managers are responsive, transparent, and consistent in every interaction. The first key point is to respond fast. It's important to acknowledge tenant requests quickly and keep them updated regularly, so they know their concerns are being heard. Next, communicate clearly. Setting expectations early on, whether about policies, timing, or next steps, helps avoid confusion and fosters a sense of reliability. Finally, follow through. Taking reliable action on promises not only solves immediate issues, but also turns everyday service interactions into long-term confidence and trust. These steps are essential, whether you're navigating commercial or residential property management. Here we focus on the essentials of financial management in property management, whether commercial or residential. First, rent collection is a fundamental task. Consistent and timely rent payments are critical for maintaining cash flow. Next, expense tracking helps us keep a clear view of outgoing costs, so nothing slips through the cracks. Capital reserves are another key component. Setting aside funds for major repairs or unexpected expenses protects the property's value over time. Budget forecasting allows us to plan ahead financially and make informed decisions. NOI visibility, or net operating income visibility, gives a precise understanding of the property's profitability. Underpinning all these points is financial discipline, careful, consistent management that safeguards the property's financial health and ensures its long-term success. Altogether, these elements create a solid foundation for managing properties effectively and protecting their value. When we look at maintenance, there are two main approaches to consider: proactive and reactive. Proactive maintenance involves scheduled inspections and servicing, which allows us to monitor asset life and address issues before they become serious problems. This approach helps us set aside budgeted reserves, reducing unexpected costs and minimizing downtime. As a result, tenants enjoy a smoother experience, and the property's net operating income is protected. Proactive maintenance also helps extend the asset's value and keeps operations running smoothly without disruption. On the other hand, reactive maintenance kicks in only after something breaks. This often leads to emergency calls that disrupt staff and inconvenience tenants. Additionally, rushing to fix urgent problems tends to be more expensive and can cause recurring issues that damage trust over time. While some reactive maintenance is unavoidable, relying on it as the default strategy is risky and inefficient. In summary, Prioritizing proactive maintenance is key to maintaining property value, controlling costs, and ensuring a positive experience for everyone involved. When we talk about commercial leasing, it's important to recognize that tenants come in with specific expectations. They want lease terms that align closely with their growth plans, their actual usage needs, and their tolerance for risk. So, the lease has to be flexible enough to support their business as it evolves. Negotiations usually focus on several key points. Rent escalations are one. Tenants want predictable or reasonable increases. Tenant improvement allowances are another crucial area. These funds help tenants customize the space to their needs. Renewal options matter as well, giving tenants the option to stay longer if things go well. And finally, operating costs are heavily scrutinized because they directly impact the tenant's bottom line. Responsive property management plays a vital role here. When service issues arise that could affect a tenant's productivity or their brand image, quick and effective responses help strengthen tenant retention. Ultimately, the value in commercial leasing is negotiated through a combination of flexibility, quality service, and ensuring business continuity. This balance is at the core of navigating both commercial and residential property management successfully. When screening and selecting residential tenants, it's crucial to start by establishing consistent criteria to evaluate reliability. This means applying the same standards to every applicant to ensure fairness and adherence to fair housing laws. The key factors to verify include income stability, which helps confirm the tenant can meet rent obligations regularly. Next, reviewing credit and payment history provides insight into their financial behavior over time. It's equally important to check rental references to confirm their past conduct and whether they complied with lease agreements. Fair housing compliance requires using documented, objective standards and applying them uniformly, avoiding any subjective or biased judgments. This consistency not only protects the rights of prospective residents, but also safeguards property owners from potential legal risks. Ultimately, the goal is to select qualified tenants who align well with the community and meet these clear, objective criteria. This approach ensures a fair, transparent, and effective selection process in residential property management. When it comes to emergency response and crisis management, acting quickly is absolutely crucial. The priority is always to protect people first, then assets, and throughout the entire event, maintain trust. A well-prepared plan is far more effective than trying to improvise when things happen unexpectedly. The first step is to act fast, escalate the situation early, secure the site to prevent further harm, and activate your pre-established response plan immediately. Next, communicating clearly is essential. It's important to provide a single consistent message and timeline to everyone involved, including tenants, vendors, and property owners, to avoid confusion and ensure coordinated efforts. Documentation is the third key point. Capture everything in real time, the incidents as they happen, decisions you make, any damage sustained, and follow-up actions. This ensures nothing is missed and supports accountability. Finally, recovery needs to be systematic. Coordinate repairs, verify compliance requirements, and conduct a thorough, post-event review to improve future responses. By following these steps, you can effectively navigate emergencies in both commercial and residential property management, minimizing impact and restoring normalcy as efficiently as possible. When we talk about sustainability and green property management, it's important to understand that environmental responsibility goes beyond just good intentions. It's really an operational discipline. This means integrating efficient systems, using smarter materials, and creating greener spaces, all of which not only reduce waste, but also make the property more attractive to tenants. Lower consumption of resources leads to measurable savings, which is a key benefit. For example, energy upgrades, water control measures, and preventive maintenance do more than just cut costs. They also protect the long-term value of the asset. Today, green management isn't something optional or just a nice-to-have. It's a critical performance strategy that helps properties stay competitive and sustainable in both commercial and residential markets. Managing commercial properties comes with a unique set of challenges that can significantly impact performance. First, dealing with complex assets means layered risks that require careful oversight. For example, high tenant turnover can quickly reduce revenue, because vacancy periods, fit-out expenses, and downtime all chip away at net operating income. Next, the complexity of leases adds operational risks. There are escalations, common area maintenance reconciliations, and various clauses that demand precise and efficient administration to avoid costly mistakes. Then, there's the issue of multiple stakeholders involved. Owners, tenants, brokers, vendors, and legal teams all have their own priorities and timelines, which can slow down decision-making processes. Competition in the market also puts pressure on occupancy rates. Property managers need to balance defending rental prices while ensuring the space remains attractive to prospective tenants. Lastly, maintenance is capital-intensive and can't be deferred for long. Building systems, safety protocols, and tenant expectations require proactive management because reactive approaches tend to be much more expensive. Ultimately, the success of commercial property management depends on maintaining strict lease discipline, ensuring tenant stability, and enabling rapid coordination among all parties involved. This comprehensive approach is key to navigating the complexities of both commercial and residential property management. Managing residential properties comes with its own unique set of challenges that can really put pressure on the team. First, high-volume maintenance requests are a big one. They can pile up quickly and overwhelm staff if not handled efficiently. Then, there's the issue of fair housing compliance. This is critical because there's no room for inconsistency here. Mistakes can lead to serious legal consequences. Cash flow is another sensitive area. Late payments and delinquency disrupt it almost immediately, so keeping on top of finances is crucial. Resident disputes require a careful approach too. They demand not only speed, but also tact and thorough documentation to resolve effectively. Finally, turnover is a constant pressure point. It means continuous leasing efforts, make-ready work for units, and ongoing resident retention strategies. Balancing all these factors in residential management can be tough, but understanding these recurring pressure points is the first step to managing them successfully. Let's take a closer look at the key market trends that are currently shaping the real estate industry. First, remote work is fundamentally changing demand patterns. As more people work from home, office footprints are shrinking or being reimagined, which has a big impact on leasing and space planning. Next, sustainability expectations are on the rise. Efficiency is no longer optional. It's a baseline requirement for properties to stay competitive. Tenants and investors alike expect environmentally responsible practices as standard. At the same time, technology adoption is accelerating rapidly. Automation and enhanced visibility into operations are transforming how properties are managed, making processes smoother and more efficient. Demographic shifts also play a significant role. Changing renter priorities, whether influenced by age, lifestyle, or values, are reshaping demand for both commercial and residential spaces. Finally, hybrid spaces are becoming the new norm. Flexibility in how spaces are designed and used is key to meeting the evolving needs of tenants and staying ahead in the market. Together, these five forces are redefining every aspect of property management, from leasing strategies to asset valuation and operations. Understanding and navigating these trends is critical to success in today's commercial and residential real estate landscape. When we talk about team leadership, building a high-performance team is essential. Strong portfolios succeed because they're managed by teams made up of the right people who have clear development paths and a culture that consistently upholds high standards every single day. Hiring the right people goes beyond just experience. It means choosing individuals who demonstrate sound judgment, take accountability seriously, have a service-oriented mindset, and stay calm when making decisions under pressure. These qualities are critical for sustaining excellence. Continuous training is another key piece. We need to have repeatable onboarding processes, regular compliance refreshers, and scenario-based coaching that applies across all property types. This helps ensure everyone is prepared and aligned. Protecting team culture cannot be underestimated. When there is high trust, fast communication, and shared standards, individual managers come together to operate like one cohesive system. Ultimately, strong people systems are what drive property performance. Understanding how to navigate both commercial and residential property management with this management edge is what sets successful teams apart. When we talk about data-driven decision-making in property management, it's crucial to focus on the metrics that truly influence our outcomes. First, the occupancy rate gives us insight into how well we're filling our units, which directly impacts revenue. Then, lease-to-lease pricing helps us understand market positioning and optimize rental income. Maintenance cost per unit is another key metric, showing how efficiently we're managing property upkeep without overspending. Tenant satisfaction score reflects how well we're meeting residents' expectations, which ties into renewal and retention rates. Monitoring delinquency and arrears is essential to maintaining financial health, while response time to work orders measures our operational efficiency. By tracking these signals, we can navigate the complexities of both commercial and residential property management more effectively and make smarter, action-oriented decisions. Let's talk about scaling your property management operations step by step. In Stage 1, the focus is on a single property. This is where you prove the operating model and ensure it works smoothly before adding any complexity. Moving into Stage 2, it's about portfolio growth. Here you expand by adding more doors and square footage. But crucially, you maintain the same high level of service quality. Stage 3 is all about putting systems first. This means standardizing your workflows for leasing, maintenance, reporting, and compliance to create consistency and efficiency across your operations. Finally, in Stage 4, you expand your team. But hiring specialists only comes after you've clearly defined roles, metrics, and playbooks. The key takeaway is that growth works best when done in sequence. First, expand your portfolio. Then, standardize your systems. And finally, build your team around those systems for sustained success. Looking ahead, the future of property management is set to transform significantly thanks to AI and smart technologies. First, AI-first workflows will speed up leasing, reporting, and service requests by automating routine tasks. This means managers can focus less on paperwork and more on meaningful work. Second, predictive operations powered by sensors and building systems will help identify risks early, preventing costly disruptions before they happen. Finally, the role of the property manager will evolve. Instead of spending time on manual coordination and administration, managers will concentrate more on using judgment to enhance tenant experiences, ensure compliance, and improve overall portfolio performance. Essentially, we're moving from traditional management practices to intelligent, connected systems that prioritize strategy, service, and oversight. To wrap up, let's focus on the key takeaways. First, compliance is not optional. It's the foundation for everything we do in property management. Without meeting regulatory standards, nothing else can stand firm. Next, technology is a game changer, transforming daily tasks into scalable, efficient systems that save time and reduce errors. Building strong relationships with tenants and residents is crucial because it directly impacts the performance and stability of your properties. Also, being proactive with maintenance is essential. It costs less and helps avoid bigger, more expensive problems down the line. Keep in mind that commercial and residential properties each require tailored strategies. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other. Finally, adaptability is the key to thriving in a market that's always evolving. Being flexible and ready to pivot gives you a significant edge in navigating the complexities of both commercial and residential property management. When thinking about your next steps in property management, the first thing to do is assess your current operation. Take a close look at leasing, maintenance, reporting, and tenant communication to identify where performance tends to slow down or fall short. This will help you understand exactly what needs improvement. Next, focus on standardizing the essentials. Develop repeatable workflows for key activities like inspections, handling service requests, managing vendor relationships, lease renewals, and tracking compliance. Having these processes clearly defined makes your operations smoother and more predictable. The third step is to invest in the right systems. Look for property management software that offers your team full visibility into finances, maintenance status, occupancy levels, and tenant or resident experiences. The right tools can bring everything together, making management more efficient and informed. Finally, before you scale, build capability. Strengthen your team, partner relationships, and compliance practices so that growth doesn't introduce new risks. Solid foundations are crucial for sustainable expansion. What matters now is to shift property management from a day-to-day reactive approach to a disciplined, proactive execution. Start by closing the process gaps you can realistically address this quarter, and you'll set yourself up for long-term success. To wrap up, let's look at some valuable resources and opportunities for further learning in property management. First, when it comes to industry associations, residential property managers can benefit from groups like NADRPM, NMHC, and local apartment associations, which offer networking and educational events. For commercial property professionals, associations such as BOMA, IREM, and CCIM chapters are key for staying current on industry trends and best practices. Next, standards and regulations are crucial, so it's important to be familiar with organizations like HUD, Fair Housing, OSHA, and your local code offices to ensure compliance and maintain safe, legal operations. Certifications can also enhance your expertise and credibility. Some of the most recognized are CPM for Certified Property Manager, ARM for Accredited Residential Manager, CAM for Certified Apartment Manager, and designations like RPA and FMA focused on commercial operations and facilities management. Technology plays a big role in property management today. For accounting, platforms like Yardi, Appfolio, and Buildium are widely used, while commercial management often relies on MRI, VTS, and building engines. Operational tools include CMMS systems, tenant portals, and software for digital inspections, which help streamline maintenance and communication. Finally, continuous education through recommended reading is essential. Key topics include finance concepts like NOI, cap rates, budgeting, and lease analysis, operations such as preventive maintenance and risk planning, and leadership skills including negotiation, service recovery, and team management. All these resources can help you navigate both commercial and residential property management effectively and advance your career.